Hi guys, it's just me, Frankie Valentine, with some exciting updates for you all. First, we are now officially on Spotify! Huzzah! So all 12 of the previous episodes and this one are now available to stream while you work out, crochet, make love instead of war, all the things you do when you listen to a podcast. Next, I want to talk briefly about our Discord. If you haven't joined it, that's okay. But it is always linked down in the information thing below the video. If you want to answer the weekly prompt, you can put your answer there in the Discord, or you can comment right here on the video. I don't know if you can comment on Spotify, but I would assume you couldn't because it's a listening platform. If you can, leave us a comment on this week's episode, and let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get funky with it. We do have several other ways to follow us now. We're working on an Instagram. We have a TikTok with no videos yet. And we also have an email address. So let's say you want to write, you want to participate in everything, but you're a little shy. You don't want everybody reading your stuff. That's cool. You can send it to us at theworkshoppod25@gmail.com. Please don't send us AI. We will not read it. I do run everything through an AI checker. I'm not gonna waste my or Sarah or Patrick's time on something a computer wrote. I don't care what the internet knows. I don't know what you know. So yeah, just email us. We'll look it over. We can do edits. We can give you a little pat on the back, whatever it is you need. Sarah, Patrick, and I can't thank you all enough for coming hang out with us every week. We really love it when you guys interact and answer the prompt. So please keep up your amazing work. The things we have read have been fantastic. If you haven't shared yet, we sincerely hope that you're at least writing. Maybe just in your little journal at night. Gotta answer the prompt, man. Yeah. Just get your brain moving, right? Unless you use AI, then just hang it up because that's not you. That's a computer. All right. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I don't like AI. Thanks for being here with us, and please enjoy the show. Hey, everybody! It's me, Frankie Valentine.
I'm Patrick Caleri.
I'm Sarah Billiot.
And this is the Workshop Podcast! Yay! Now on Spotify.
So we are shooting for 24 episodes, right?
28.
28. Okay, dang it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not quite halfway there. We're almost there. We're almost in phase.
Patrick's like counting down the days.
No, I'm just.
Dang.
I wanted to make the joke that we were in like our final form, but if we're not in we're not in episode 15 yet, so
no, we're just approaching that midlife crisis.
Yeah. Episode 16, we're gonna buy a Maserati.
Yep.
I've definitely hit a quarter life crisis at least. Like, I don't know. Or, I guess technically, if I'm not long lived, it could be my midlife crisis.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
You had your midlife crisis 10 years ago.
This goes.
I don't know if it counts as a midlife crisis, but I did start learning guitar pretty late in life, like 15 or 16. But I'm 35 almost, so I guess that was like...
you get away with that.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Now, if I go to buy a violin because I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I can pick it up again with little effort, and I have time in my daily life, that's a bit of a crisis. Also, I bought a violin, but no, I'm just kidding.
I was like, wow, okay.
No, not yet.
Talk.
If you purchase a violin, you're making us an intro song. Actually, I have a violin if you really want to pick it back up.
Honestly, when I was actually playing violin, I got to the point that I could play the Pirates of the Caribbean theme most of the way through, and then I was kind of like, all right, I'm done.
I only finished most of the movies. I don't need to finish the rest of the song. It's fine.
It's really reached peak music. Why would I progress?
Yeah. So, we have a prompt from last week, guys. Well, actually, not last week, the week before. It was, in what way are you a trendsetter in your social circle? So, who's rip roaring ready to jump in and go first?
I can go first with the caveat that I 100% didn't follow the prompt at all this week. Not even intentionally. I swear it was not intentional. It was like I did start last week. I gave it like I got about maybe a quarter of the way through. It's not long, but and I know I had in my mind an idea of how this would be trend setting, but then I went back to it today and I couldn't tell you. No clue. No idea.
Well, I feel a little bit better because that's kind of why I'm not very proud of mine because I feel like it didn't follow the prompt like it should have. Like I wanted it to. I tried to get it to. But
I mean, Sarah, I highly doubt yours could be any further off than mine. I don't know though. We'll see. I guess it'll be the
we'll
competition.
see. Yeah. Who sucked the most this week?
See, I'm not proud of mine, not because it doesn't follow the prompt, but because it just sucks. So,
Hey,
nothing.
and sometimes these things happen. It does.
Yep.
I had pink eye for 4 days, okay? I couldn't see the screen. There's no editing happening over here.
Exactly. Honestly, there may be misspellings in this because I did not edit at all. I like typed it out at work after like my last half hour of work. But I am just curious. Again, I'll read it. I'm just curious. I want to know what I was thinking. I want to know why I thought this was a trend. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
That's one of the downfalls of being a writer. We own 10,000 notebooks, but we never write anything down.
Yeah.
Like,
I've lost so many brilliant ideas and plot twists because I just like I thought them and then I had them in my mind for years and then I'm like, oh, where'd that go? No clue.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you sit down, you touch the keys, and everything just leaks right out of your ears. Like, oh, that's what I wanted to happen. Okay.
All right. So the title of my piece is called Whitewashed Sepulchres. It says, I loathe funerals. Always have. They feel like a competition with no win condition. Bunch of wallowing and carrying on from bleeding hearts that don't hold water, if that makes any sense. Don't really matter if it does. Point is, funerals have always felt fake to me. But it's the most important day of Henry's life, so the least I can do is pretend it means something. Still doesn't mean I want to. He restoreth my soul, he leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. The preacher drones on like a cicada in a mausoleum, the only noise save for a few coughs into wet hankies. I don't feel right here. The casket is too white against the wilting cemetery grass, and the preacher's saying the same things he was saying back in the sanctuary, just in a different order, and the words don't mean any more here than they did there. Probably didn't know that kid from Adam. Henry'd laugh at that if he were still here, and that and the casket. Probably make some crack about corpses being preferable to people, and more amenable besides. Definitely wouldn't have landed well, but he'd tell it all the same. The pallbearers move up the aisle, letting aunts and uncles press trembling, sweaty palms to the coffin like a heathen blessing. It strikes me odd how funerals just keep going and going, like a party that no one's keen on coming home from. Maybe that's supposed to make it easier when the diggers fold the earth over you, but I think it just gives people more time to remember that the thing in the casket wasn't always a corpse. For the life of me, I can't tell if that's better. The funerary locomotive grinds to a halt at the head of the assembly, near where the black earth gapes stupidly for its next supper. The kids' parents rise to stand next to the box, making it seem smaller by comparison, just a foot short of being a man's coffin. I remember meeting Henry for the first time back in grade school. He'd been skinny, scrawny really, all elbows and bony edges. He never talked quite right, which was probably why I found him alone more often than not. Still, you could get him on a reel easy enough if you just asked him about anything other than Henry. It was the damnedest thing, like he got some kind of aversion to his own life. Like he was keeping the world in his back pocket as a distraction from his own head. Didn't much care for the here and now so long as he could dream he was somewhen else. It hurt him in the end. I think folks could tell he'd always rather be anywhere but there. They'd whisper about how if he just spoke a bit more, maybe he'd find his groove. Maybe he'd be worth a little something. Maybe the McLaughlin brothers wouldn't have followed him home from school in that old Chevy every day. Maybe they wouldn't have thought it was fun to bust up the little plastic action figures Henry liked to keep on him like talismans. I look at the casket and I don't think that's right exactly, but don't have the words to explain why. Henry might have, but that was moot now. A word that sounds like dropping a coffin in a 6-foot hole. There's a pause now in the service. The boy's mother asks to open the top half of the casket one last time before he's interred. It's the only moment in the whole ordeal that feels genuine to me, and I think it might be respectful to look away in that moment, but I don't. Nobody else does. What would have been the point otherwise? The heavy lid peels back, and there are already scratches on its surface. Somebody chokes out a screech sob. Even from our seats towards the back, my entire family can see the hole in Dylan McLaughlin's temple from where Henry's bullet caught him. The mortician managed to sew his jaw back on, barely even crooked. His brother claws at the top of the casket mutely, unable to speak a goodbye through his closed throat, a crumpled mirror of the body in the coffin that's somehow even more dead. That suffering is real too. Is it more real, less real, just as real as any of Henry's, whatever padded cell he's in now? And does that matter? The preacher closes the casket, and the honest part of the ceremony is at an end. They lower Dylan's body into the dirt and bury reality with him. Maybe it is all fake, but I still have to be here for Henry. Like I said, it's the most important day of his life. More important than the first time he said mama, more important than the day he took his papaw's hunting rifle. The day all Madison County measured him as a killer, then and in perpetuity, and there was nothing for it. It wasn't wrong and it wasn't right neither. Just a funeral of sepulchres laying their own to rest.
Ooh. Okay.
Not at all what the prompt said.
But so powerful.
I loved that. Wait,
Really?
what?
You did?
I did. It didn't follow the prompt, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was definitely not expecting. Did I miss something? I was not expecting it to be Dylan McLaughlin that was in the casket.
Me,
Yeah.
I thought it was Henry.
Yeah, that was
I was expecting
trying
it
to
to be
play.
Henry.
I was trying to play that into that angle with it, and again, tried to flip it on its head. Yeah, it was some. I don't know. I could not tell you a week ago where this idea came from. But no, I just liked the idea of the, I don't know, amoralness of it at the end of it, or the just kind of emptiness of it. You don't know what's wrong, what's right. It's just kind of like I want to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I don't want to make sense of it.
I really liked this. I'm sure you can hear my son screeching in the background.
No, Liam, you can't have Papaw's rifle. Go sit down.
He's taking a bath right now, so he's not
No,
very
I just a little bit.
Yeah. I too screech in the shower. It's fine.
People.
No, I was expecting Henry to be in the coffin, and then I was thinking okay, Henry is the one that everyone's following him. He's the quote unquote trendsetter because it's his funeral. And then whenever it wasn't his funeral, I was like, wait a second.
I think you can chalk going up to the trend was to pretty much be a dick to Henry. And
maybe that was it.
Yeah, and Henry ended the trend.
Yeah.
He's an unsetter.
Oh.
Yeah, and I kind of that's actually a good point. And to the whole, again, it's I tried to highlight the terribleness of it because at the end of the day, it is still a terrible thing. I mean, regardless of, you can, especially kids too. I think there's an extra terrible dimension to that because they are just stupid kids. That's not to say someone can't bully someone and damage them beyond help, but I mean, it's just the, I don't know, chain of violence kind of idea, I think.
Yeah. I really liked it. It was a good twist. You had the twist of Nathan Fake. I like that.
Stole it.
Yeah, I liked it. And I really liked the line, Henry might have, but that was moot now, a word that sounds like dropping a coffin in a 6-foot hole.
Oh, yay! I'm
Mwah.
glad that you liked that one because I
I
really liked
love
it
that.
too.
Honestly, my brain went a totally different direction when you started talking about the scratches on the lid. I was like, oh
uh,
god, he's alive in there!
Get him out!
Get that boy some oxygen! But no oxygen needed. Boy is
Oh,
dead.
man. Yeah. Well, I liked writing it in the tense that I wrote it in. That's different for me as well. I've read a lot more stuff in like written in present tense first person nowadays. Um,
Yeah.
but I feel like that was not a norm when we were growing up reading. At least I didn't read much like
No,
that.
I think pretty much anything that was ever assigned to us, like long form, like novels, short stories over 25 pages, because apparently over 25 pages is still a short story. Like, like, if you're gonna read a short story, it's 187 pages. Ah, I hate you. But yeah, no, mostly was in past tense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we ever
Did
read anything present or future tense, it was usually an example just to show us the difference. As far
yeah.
as I remember.
Hunger Games definitely was one of the biggest in the YA sphere that broke that trend. But yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys liked it.
It was very
Really glad.
good. I loved it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I can go next if you guys would like.
That sounds good.
All right. Give Sarah a moment. Sarah's gone now. How dare she? All right, it's just us. Let's talk shit. How are you this week?
All right, the real pod. This is not even for Patreon. This is just free.
Yeah, you guys are getting a freebie. You should drop us a like and give us a comment and listen to us on Spotify on your ride to work tomorrow. It'd be great.
There are times that I genuinely forget that people do actually listen to this. Not in the not like in a negative way, but I'm like, oh, I'm not just talking to the void. I probably
Yeah,
should be. What I say, yeah, whatever.
we talked to 38 people last week, or at least 38 times. So that's the most we've gotten in a good little minute. We've
That's
got 2
incredible.
whole followers on Spotify right now.
Hey, got to start somewhere, right?
Yep, and our first episode on Spotify has 6 listens, 6 streams.
Oh,
Not mad about it. All right, welcome back, Sarah. We weren't talking shit at all.
no, no.
All right, so this is the coven. The smoke covered the bathroom mirror and swirled around the shower head as Tony and I coughed and wheezed. What's that one called again? Tony pushed past me to open the bathroom window as wide as it would go, about an inch. I checked the package, hacked up along, then read, Funeral pyre. I tossed the box, incense and all, into the trash. Never again! As the one on the counter spit up smoke, Tony rushed over, turned on the faucet, and doused the red tip. Okay, she choked. Let's agree to never light that one again. Agreed. I waved my hand in front of my face. The air was starting to clear, but the room still smelled of mold and skunk feet. She sat on the edge of the tub and took a few deep breaths. Here, sit down. The smoke is rising, so if you're still all tall and shit, you're gonna choke more. We sat there, focusing on not dying, when the bathroom door opened. Girls, what is that smell? Patty, my dad's wife, scrunched up her face and waved her hand around as if that would help. Did someone sacrifice a troll in here? Hi, Miss Patty. No. We were trying out a new incense stick from that pack we bought at the mall the other day, and it smells rancid. Tony turned on the tub faucet, took one of the paper cups from the counter, filled it with the cold water, and sucked it down. We thought we could get closer to with nature. She folded her arms over her chest and shook her head, face still scrunched like she just ate a lemon. You girls and your silly notions. If you want to get close to nature, then go outside. But that's where the weirdos live, Pat. Lila, dinner's almost ready. Is Tony staying for supper? I looked over at her. She had turned a strange shade of green. Or that was just runoff from her most recent hair dyeing episode. Well, hungry? Well, since you asked so nicely, She tossed her long green hair over her shoulder. I guess I could eat. Wash up. Leave the window open. The lunch table was all abuzz the next day. Crystals and herbs passed between girls, all wearing all black. I remember how they all laughed at my chains and tights and boots last year, just after Christmas. Lila, you missed Halloween by like 3 months, or who died? As if you only wear black to funerals. But then the big sleepover happened. The cramps yelled over the party. The cake was red velvet with black icing. The party favors were little rocks, crystals, and herbs, as well as a brand new black liquid eyeliner. I packaged them myself in little purple velvet bags that had a tag hanging from them. Welcome to the coven. My coven. My sisterhood of not taking anyone's shit anymore. The group shrunk by three. A few of the fundamentalist Christian girls still hold up crucifixes when we walk past on our way to math class. But the six of us have been exploring. So I say we watch The Craft this weekend and then try calling the corners. Lex got the hang of the fashion, but was still having trouble deciding what was fact and what was fiction. Tony rolled her eyes. Then we can all cuddle and play lame as a feather, dumb as a board. Lex scoffed. Always so negative. Peter, our only boy, who wasn't at the sleepover but liked what we stood for, sipped his soup, then held up a hand. Hey, wait. I found something this weekend. My dad took me to that place on Birmingham, that place that looks like hell cooled down. There's an old lady in there who really knows her shit. I told her about the coven, and she sold and she sold me this. She told me this is the best place for us to start. He heaved the book from his bag and put it on the center of the table. A golden pentagram was pressed deep into the deep brown leather cover. Strange symbols I didn't recognize danced around in each point, some on the outside of the circle. What do you think, Lila? I was the de facto leader. What I said went. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was anxious to find out. Let's meet in the place where the thing happened that time after school. Everyone nodded. We all knew what that meant, and we didn't like to be disturbed. So, as soon as the bell rang, we hoofed it to the side of the river where Ludo, former member of the coven, swallowed a very large crystal and had to be hospitalized and get surgery to have the big crystal ball taken from his guts. We sat down on the log. We moved around to create a sort of living room under the old trees. I thumbed through the book, beautifully drawn images of women dancing and animals gathering, which made me feel like a real life witch. Holding my book next to a building flame, others gathered and chanting over blank homework packets rather than answering the questions. They weren't going to last long. Tony came over and sat next to me. Hey, can I talk to you? I didn't look up from the book, but grunted a half-hearted sure her way. She sat quiet for a bit, her feet crossed and her arms pressed against her side, holding herself on top of the log. Well, it's just... This is getting kind of... I closed the book on my finger in lieu of a bookmark. Kind of what? Look around you. This is all kind of kid stuff, isn't it? I looked around. Building fires, chanting, nature, magic. What about it? Well, this is the kind of stuff kids do when they're trying to seem cool. Tony, I got stuffed in a locker last week. If this is meant to make us cool, I don't think it's working. She seemed sad, but I wasn't going to let her just leave. She knew too much. So, what, you don't want to be a witch anymore? You don't want to be powerful? You like when people fuck with you? She stood up and folded her arms. You said it yourself, Lila. You got shoved in a locker last week. That doesn't sound very fucking powerful to me. That sounds worse than when you were just some pretty vapid void girl. I was a void? Yeah! You were a void! You acted like your shit didn't stink, and you could have any member of the football team you wanted, even though you couldn't. I felt my face getting hot. How fucking dare you, Tony? Do you know what they call you now? They call you the freak mother, because you did this. You birthed this. She turned to Rory and Stasia. And you too! It's ink and paper. Some fucked up chant you made up yourself isn't going to make your homework magically do itself. Read a goddamn book, people! Except for the fire crackling, it got quiet. Everyone was looking at her as she panted and stared back. Fuck this. I'm going home. She picked up her bag and stormed off towards the edge of the woods. Lila, you okay? Peter was next to me suddenly, his hand on my shoulder. I looked at him and for the first time saw what he had become. He was a sweet kid, natural blonde, chiseled face, but covered in grease paint and eyeliner that made him look like he got attacked by a mime. I pulled my jacket tight around myself and shook my head. Take your book, put out the fire. You all just go home. The walk home was long and lonely. I thought about the last year. Things had changed. I was no longer asked to random parties or invited to hang out with different groups like I had before. I was a pretty little nomad who flowed in and out of social circles with ease, and I gave it all up. By the time I got home, Dad and Patty were sitting on the sofa laughing at some old show they decided to watch together. The door closed behind me, and I took the steps two at a time up to my room. I didn't answer when Patty called that we were having pizza for dinner. I sat at my vanity and looked myself over. Half my makeup was running down my cheeks, long black tears pulled down to my neck. I reached over and grabbed a makeup remover wipe and started to scrub. I scrubbed until it hurt. That way I could say I was crying because of the chemicals. I scrubbed and scrubbed until I was sure I had gotten every ounce of skin off of my face. I held up the makeup wipe. Wait. I held out the makeup remover wipe, which was white when I took it out of the package, and noted that it now resembled an old newspaper, dingy brown with streaks of black and white everywhere. I looked up and saw someone in the mirror I hadn't seen in a long time. I saw me, not a witch, not a coven leader, not even Tony's best friend, just Lila. She was really pretty.
That's sweet. I
I love
enjoyed.
that ending.
Yeah, I like that too. I wasn't quite sure where. I mean, not in the bad way, but you could have gone a lot of ways halfway through that, and that
Yeah.
so I do kind of like where you, or not kind of. I do really like where you brought it at the end. The character introspection was really good in this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, even though it's like such a short story, um, it only shows like a snippet of um, Lila and Tony's relationship. And just the fact that you put not even Tony's best friend, just Lila, shows that there's so much more into that than that we didn't get to see.
Mhm.
Um, but I also think that whenever it was Tony, right, that was like telling her that she's a void, pretty
Yeah.
vapid void girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not just anyone tells you those things. So um yeah, I mean I think that Tony's character really came through whenever she had her little hissy fit and left the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, like Sarah said, there's a lot of implicit information, which makes this really good character wise too. Like the insecurity about Tony, maybe not Tony's best friend, X Y Z. It's really dense for the length of it, and I really like that, and especially because I just personally I find that kind of thing like neo paganism interesting. It just because for the fact that to me it's a reflection of like, okay, this wasn't really what it was like, this is what the church said it was like, so it's kind of interesting to see that reality spawning out of and all the various different practices too, so I like that was an aspect to it.
Yeah. And also this hit the prompt like on the head. It was
Yeah.
like
Dang it. All right, well, you had
she
to show me.
started the trend and then she ended the trend.
She was just like, oh, Patrick, you got to let me show you how it's done. It's called following the damn prompt.
in your defense, you started following the prompt, and then life happened, and then you went back to it. I
It's like,
did like 30 minutes before we started. So
yeah.
all
Good
those
point.
fumbles, for those of you listening, all those fumbles, me fumbling over words, those were typos.
Yeah, I
It
really
was
enjoyed
good.
that one.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right,
And
Sarah. I
Okay.
did the title already.
Let's see if I could do this without coughing. Okay.
every
Um
time Sarah coughs, take a shot.
Oh, God.
start with one.
Oh, damn it.
That was like 3
Shit.
right there.
Luckily, I got my big Stanley.
Okay. So I started this, like I said, like really trying to follow the prompt. And then it wasn't going where I wanted it to go. And I got frustrated. So I just kept going on and I said, fuck it.
And
So,
that's the attitude I'm looking for. Fuck
okay.
it.
It's called Granny's Pills and Autism. Mama says I'm a bother. Says no one in their right mind wants me to be the last thing they see before they meet the Lord. Says to be quiet when I walk into Granny's room and stay for only a minute before leaving and do my homework. Lucky for me, Granny ain't in her right mind, and I ain't got no homework today. I sit beside her pale, frail body and tell her all about my friends and about the project I've been working on all month. I tell her about Lola and her wide eyes and wonky foot, and how she ain't ever going to catch that tail of hers. Mama might kill her before she even knows what that damn tail tastes like. Why, with how many times she done knocked into the kitchen table. Granny responds to me with her eyes closed, deep wrinkles etched into her thin skin. Never heard of a retarded dog before. Granny, I shout, my hands flying up to my open mouth. That's a bad word. Words are only bad if y'all make 'em bad, she says, turning her head to me, leaving some of her thin hair behind on the pillow. Retard ain't no bad word less you bully folks 'cause of it. Her small eyes darken, the skin around them sagging, and she lowers her bald brows. You ain't bullying that bitch for being a tart, are ya? My eyes widen, my hands still covering my mouth. No, ma'am, I shout, shaking my head hard. Of course not. She nods, pleased, and closes her eyes. But, Granny, I ask after a while, is it wrong to want to fix her, make her less? I don't want to repeat the bad word. You know. Ain't wrong, she mumbles. Ain't nothing wrong with trying to make something better. And with that, her tired, gummy mouth relaxes and her breathing slows and her words bounce around in my head. Ain't nothing wrong with trying to make something better. Later that night, I sneak open her bedside drawer and grab a couple more orange bottles right on top and slide the drawer closed. That's where I get the medicine for Lola. Back in my room, against my sliding closet door, I take one pill out and halve it with my teeth. With my teeth. I let one half melt bitterly on my tongue, and the other I crush carefully over Lola's midnight snack. The bitter chalkiness don't seem to phase her like it does me. I pull my notebook from under my bed. Day 13. Appetite is steady, tail chasing reduced, but not gone. An increase in medication will begin tomorrow. Mama says Lola and me are a lot alike. Annoying, loud, and autistic. Keith's autistic too, and he can play 4 instruments and knows a buttload of facts about Galapagos penguins. I don't know nothing about no Galapagos penguins, and Mama ain't gonna let me learn the guitar, because I'm not the good kind of autistic. I'm the kind that can't get no help. But you know what? I've been feeling better, and Mama sees it too. She's been talking to Aunt Kay on the phone at night, talking about how I'm a good boy, talking like this single mom gig ain't so hard after all. I like it when she talks good about me, when she don't yell so much. When Lola gets an increase in Granny's meds, so will I, and those whispers in my brain might go away for good. My hypothesis is holding true. Pain medicine is good for autism. It's working real good on me and my busy brain. Ain't gotta bang my head against a locker to get the voices to shut the hell up no more. What the hell voices are you talking about, Andy? Keith asks me as we squat together in the handicap stall of the bathroom after I told him all about his cure. Those damn whispers, I say, tapping my temple. All that static, all the chitter chatter inside my brain. I shake the pill bottle between us. Gone. He looked at me sideways, his head tilted down. Take a shot. He looked at me sideways, his head tilted down like a Halloween zombie waiting to jump. Hell, even Lola ain't chasing her damn tail no more. Remember her knocking over chairs and shit? She just lays down like a good girl now. Been sleeping a lot. No more yelling from mama. Keith takes the bottle for me to inspect, shaking it at his ear, tossing it from one hand to the other. He tells me sometimes he feels there's worms in his brain, and he can't hardly hear his violin over the noise. I think it'll help, I say, knocking a couple pills in his hand. We take one pill each, both wincing at the dry, chalky taste it leaves behind, and we wash it down with tap water from the sink. My mama been saying I'm a whole new boy. Been saying it about Lola, too. I sure hope so, says Keith, drying his hands off with the bathroom's brown napkins. When will it work? A few minutes, I say, sliding the orange bottle back into my pocket as the bathroom door swings open and Coach T hurriedly waves us out. By Friday, I got Toby and Kate and Ashton all coming up to me during PE asking for the autism drug. Ain't not one of them got autism like Keith and me, but Ashton said his daddy beats him, so I gave him a couple pills because I felt bad. And Toby said he'll tell if I don't share. I ain't got a single pill left by the end of the day, and that's the only damn thing I'm thinking of. Granny's pills and autism. At least I'm a cool kid now. When I get home, Mama's waiting for me at the bus stop. She's got puffy eyes and red cheeks, and she's picking at the skin around her nails. She hugs me like she always does, asks me about my day, tells me about Lola, but all I can think about is getting more of Granny's pills. How am I going to keep my new friends if I ain't got more of Granny's pills? How am I going to keep my own autism away if I can't take Granny's pills? Do you hear me, Andrew? Mama says. Her hand falls from my shoulder and she stops in the driveway of our house. You heard what I said? I shake my head. Sorry, Mama. I've been feeling off all day. She nods. You got your granny's sixth sense, she says and runs her fingers through my hair. Always been a sensitive boy. She turns me around to face her, splotchy red cheeks and wet pink eyes, and a sad smile that tells me she's about to tell me something that'll have me looking like her. Spit it out, Mama, I say, my head down. Those voices start coming back in, pulsing at my eyes and in my ears and telling me all about how stupid I am and selfish and how Mama don't even love me no more. Lola, she whispers, her voice breaking. She wipes beneath her eyes with the pads of her thumb, smearing makeup and eyeliner across her cheek. Lola passed away this morning, Andy. Silence now, and not from Granny's pills. She must have eaten something. Either Granny's pills were wrong or Mama was, because I ain't ever heard of nobody dying from autism.
Ooh.
That was good. I mean, not like I don't say it's good because it was, but that was really, really good. It reminded me very much of the voice that you used in that. It was the one about the pregnant girl a while back. Um,
I don't even remember.
you talked in
the program.
Oh yes, yeah.
They're
okay,
in a program.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I thought you used a very similar kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Dialect.
Dialect. In this one, but I think not that the other one was bad or anything, but I think this one you kind of even dialed it in a little bit more, and I think it was again not that the other one wasn't smooth, but this one just flowed really, really well in the character's voice. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was really good. Wasn't the other one? Was it the other one was third person though? Wasn't it, or was it
The
first
other
person?
one was. I think the other one was third person. I believe.
Yeah, hearing it.
I genuinely don't know.
Sarah, like I wrote it, couldn't tell you.
I feel like this one being from first person and getting that kind of dialect all the way through was really helpful, both to the character and for the reader. Because I think if you do it in third and you don't keep the dialect all the way through, it kind of
You lose it.
I don't want to say it's you kind of lose it, and also it's kind of like a whiplash for your reader going back and forth and back and forth. But this flowed; it was very easy to follow was a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be. Like,
No, but
like no,
but for how short it was, I think it accomplished a lot too. That's the other thing that's
right,
impressive.
yeah,
Like you go from having the conversation with the grandma upstairs, you
hmm
get a lot of different scenes and a lot of progression in probably what less than 1,000 words or so. So that was really
yeah.
impressive in itself too.
Like it was 5 pages, but it didn't feel like 5 pages. It felt like a page. Like I was like, "Where's the rest? Well, we got to read more. There's more to the story. What happened? Hey, wait, I want more." It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a very not an easy read, but a very enjoyable read.
Feels like
Yeah.
none of us took a positive take on the trendsetter angle. Like not at all.
So my interpretation was abandon everything you love. Sarah's interpretation was give your dog drugs,
Mine
and your
involved in the
interpretation
ground. So
your interpretation was fuck this prompt.
uh, man, that what does that say about us? Let's not examine that.
No, no, we are our own villains. That's all.
That is good. Well, that was fun. I like that one. I think we all came up with. I think we all wrote around the same length of
Yeah.
response this time.
Yeah.
And that was this week's prompt, my dudes. Our prompt for next week.
All right, show me what to ignore.
If you would indulge in anything without consequences, what would it be?
Oh.
Ooh. All right, that's a good one. Potential. I'm
I
gonna
really
come. So I didn't do the prompt, but I did write a novel, and
so I built a toy car out of popsicle sticks and a hamster.
honestly, I'm surprised that none of us has like pulled something like that yet, because that's right up the alley of procrastination. It's like, well, no, I did look at every president.
I know this is a writing podcast, but let's go outside.
Follow me.
Again, part of writing is staring down that blank Google document and just being like, fuck this. I'm going to be a hooker instead.
And then I remember I don't have the looks or the rhythm, and I'm like, ah, back
or
to
the
it.
time. Yep, or the time. I don't know. I could find time to swing from the pole. I don't know if I could find time to write. That's one obviously pays better.
It goes a little bit back to our conversation about writer's block and what do you do to get out of it. But there's part of me that also feels that sometimes when I have time, I have no excuses. There's part of me that's so scared because I'm just kind of like, what if I just lost it? What if I just sit down and I'm like, what, like, I don't, because I do feel like that sometimes. I'm just like, I have no idea how to string two sentences together.
I was gonna write a story, but I forgot how to speak English. So here's a Latvian song and dance routine.
Uh,
But we wanted to talk about antagonists this week. So we are our own antagonists, I guess, because we kind of avoid writing sometimes. But
that's
I was always told if you come to a part in a story where you reach writer's block, kill something. Like,
hell yeah. And that's what this is good for.
And that's why I killed the dog.
Yeah. Look
Sarah,
at you using that education.
I know you wrote that dog and you're like, oh, you're dead. You're dead.
I'm going to Does the Dog Die right now and put this in trade. It's like, yes, he fucking bites it. Or she bites it. It's a girl
Sarah
dog.
needs to be told, kill your darlings. She's more, please let some of them live.
It's a good thing there's a mute button on this mic, because otherwise we'd all be drunk with how much I'm coughing right now.
It's okay, honey. I was drunk when we started. It's not. It's fall break. We didn't have school yesterday or today. We go back tomorrow. I've been off since Wednesday because I was so sick last week, and I was like, I can't wait for fall break because I'm gonna drink a beer and stay up all night and smoke cigarettes and listen to music and sing loud. I couldn't do any of that shit. I don't know about Alex. Mom was like, you could drink a beer tonight. I don't trust me.
Fair point. Fair point.
We're starting Shakespeare tomorrow, okay? I need to have all my wits about me.
And some more, actually. Some on top of that.
I need to borrow some wits, so if you guys got any extra.
Hoisted by your own petard. What's a petard? I don't know, man.
I don't know. I got this shit from Patrick.
Actually, a petard is a bomb, just so you know.
Oh shit.
So along the line of we are our own villains. Who is your favorite literary villain, and what do you think makes them so effective?
My favorite literary villain?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give that woman any clout, so I'm gonna skip the Harry Potter conversation.
I got you.
I don't. Scar.
Hey?
From the Lion King, because he is just Hamlet's uncle.
I mean, yeah, he is. It's Hamlet.
It's Hamlet, but with cats, and I love cats because I'm a crazy cat lady. Anyway, no, like I like the uncle from Hamlet because he got everything he wanted, but still lost. You know, like he's a very obvious villain, and there's only one person who gets that he's the villain, and everybody's like, "This motherfucker's going nuts." So he's turning the hero kind of into a villain to everyone around him because I mean, he kills Polonius, makes Ophelia go on a really long swim. He kills Laertes with a sword that he doesn't realize is poison. So technically, he didn't really kill Laertes. The uncle killed Laertes. So he's. I like that his whole plan blows up in his face in spectacular fashion.
And at the end too, like you almost made it. You almost got away with it.
Yeah. My favorite part of Hamlet though is that the only person that survives is Horatio, and then Fortinbras shows up, and he's just like, "I'm here to take over the." What the fuck? It's just like I can explain. I promise.
It's the real life meme of someone walking into the fire and all the pizza party, like, what's going on?
This is Horatio's just there, like, this is fine. I'm fine. You're fine. We're all fine. No worries.
Just an average day, you know. This is just what monsters do.
And I like that the whole aspect was lost when you move to the Lion King and realize that Scar is not his real name; it's a nickname because his original name was Taka, which is Swahili for trash.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta live up to your namesake, man.
Now that you say that, I remember reading about that.
Like, how do you spend all those hours in labor to look down at your beautiful baby and go, I'm gonna name you fucking garbage?
Garbage. It didn't come out the way I wanted. Thank God we've got his hot brother, I guess. I don't know.
He's adopted, but we're gonna name him King. Don't know why.
All good, man. I don't know. Some say it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but what can I say?
Yeah.
No, those are good. I like the familial aspect of a villain can be done well. There's the danger of a Star Wars comparison. Unfortunately, that is so deeply ingrained in pop culture that whether or not you're writing or filming, the whole "I am your father" twist just won't land anymore. At least as easily as it once did. So in a way, I do appreciate other familial ties like uncle. I really enjoy sibling dynamics, especially when the two are opposed to one another. I think those are really fun exploratory things, especially if it's like, siblings that grew up together, those that didn't. There are so many different permutations to that. Yeah, I thought that was, let me think, what's a good... There was a series... there was a book called Aragon. It was a fantasy series. Did you ever read it?
No, but that's the one with the dragons on it, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, friends
So,
all read it.
yeah. So one of the cooler aspects to that was a rivalry of sorts between two characters that did turn out to be half brothers. And I always really appreciated it. I think it was like the guy was named Murtog, and then Aragon was his half brother. And they did a lot of interesting things with that, kind of like lineage and but I always enjoyed how, books kind of fell off a little bit later on. Sorry, Christopher Paolini. I think that's how you say his name. I'll just call him Chris.
Look, once they make their money, fuck it. Have some slop. We wrote this. This is deleted scene slop. Yeah, here you go. Remember that shit we established 3 books ago? Let's recon that shit.
Here's some romanticism. Go crazy.
Yeah.
See, I would say, and I don't want to say that this is like my favorite literary villain because it's not my favorite book by far, and I don't think that it should be anyone's favorite book. But I have been on Substack a lot recently, and there's like a whole lot of like writers and readers and people from Book Talk on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading a little newsletter that someone wrote about the reader being the villain in Lolita. And I was like,
oh, I'm pretty
that's
sure the
such an interesting take.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
And
that takes a little too hot for my liking.
I'm scalding myself.
Yeah, like they were saying that the narrator does such a good job at like trying to get the reader to sympathize with him for being a child molester and a pedophile.
Yeah.
That by the end, like, I mean, you have people using Lolita as like Lolita quotes as love quotes for weddings and shit. So like by the end of it, you're sympathizing with this narrator who was literally a bad person.
Yeah.
And the person on Substack was saying like, this makes you the villain. And I'm like, hold on. I've never heard that take before, but I like it.
I just want to go ahead and make a public announcement here and now for the workshop podcast. If your quote about love in your wedding is followed up swiftly in the book by "Thank you, Daddy, can I have my binky back?" you are probably not going to make it longer than a year.
This is all just to say that when you put quotes on something, look about the context within which that quote was spoken. That is just a good, broad, overarching statement because there are some really good lines in some really awful works.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to really make sure you know what you're quoting.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
In the age of Pinterest, of the quote boards with no attributing, it's just like, who said it? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
What was that one? Never believe everything you read on the internet. I know I don't. Said by Abraham Lincoln.
It's like 80% of the statistics you read on the internet are made up, and you're reading it on the internet. So it's like
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get into the Wheel of Time books. I love fantasy, but it is a 15 book series. So it's a bit of a commitment. I've started it before and I got like 3 books in. But there's a villain in there that I find really interesting as well, because he's introduced so early in the story as like a traveling merchant. You would never know this guy from Adam. He's not even like the big bad. He's nowhere, near that powerful. But for some reason, every time he is brought up in the narrative, in the first 3 books at least, the author treats him with such absolute loathing, like revilement, and
then the piece of shit walked in again.
necessarily explain why this guy, he only, I feel like, implies it for the first 3 books, and I felt like I was going insane. I was like, okay, you keep telling me he's horrible, but why? Why though? Why this guy specifically? And part of me,
Did they
part of
catch him reading Lolita and really enjoying it? Oh,
yeah. In book 12, you find out. No, and so I hate to admit it, but part of the reason I am getting back into the books is because there's this curiosity that I have to know about, and I'm like, you know what? That is somewhat effective. Like keeping the villain a mystery as much as possible. Because like I just every time I get a tidbit, I'm like, okay, you're gonna explain it now, right? You're not just gonna go on and on about he's just the worst. Every like someone looks at him and it's like they feel more disgust and like more evil they have ever felt in their life. And I'm like, but why? You introduced
I
him as
love that.
a salesman.
I feel like I've
and his
never read anything
steak
that does that. Like it that's such an interesting way to like
And especially because
map out a villain.
the first time he's introduced, he's treated normally. Everything's fine. But then they find out he's working with the bad guy. They visit him in jail, and all of a sudden it's this about face where he is the devil incarnate. It's like, what the hell? So yeah, I'm gonna explore that. See how many books it takes me to get to the bottom of that story.
You gotta get to the end, and he's been narrating all along.
Yet he just doesn't bring it up.
That would be so frustrating.
Like, and the last line is like, "It was me," and then that's the end of the 15-book series.
I was looking in a mirror this whole time.
So confused. Oh, so yeah, that one. That's an effective one. You know, I can't say I could emulate it perfectly myself, but it's a good one.
Sometimes though, there isn't a villain like at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
No.
like the people in the book versus an idea of something. You know, like My Sister's Keeper, which don't watch the movie. I don't know who. Like, I love Cameron Diaz, but I think she went to Claire Danes' house and was like, "Hey, I need to cry," and Claire was like, "I got you." Like, if you've ever seen the 1994 Romeo and Juliet, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That last scene where she goes, like, baby, I'm gonna get you a tissue made of lead and hit you with that bitch. Damn. But like,
Also, though, the book and the movie do not end the same, and it is
they do
so
not.
frustrating. Why would you
Yeah.
change that?
That's so
That was-
weird too. It's like you must have felt like you were going crazy in the theater. Like, wait,
Oh, yeah.
what?
I had to read the book for, like, when I went from public school to Catholic school. We had a list of books. Like, every grade had a book they had to read. So that year I had to read A Lesson Before Dying, which fantastic book. If you ever get the chance, go read it. It is amazing. And then we had a list of optional books. And that was on the optional book, and I was like, I'll choose this one. And then I got that freaking behemoth, and I was like, oh god. But the way it was written, I just flew right through it. It was really good, easy to read. And like, there wasn't an actual villain. Everything that happened for a reason. And in the end, everyone was kind of against the same thing, which was the cancer. It wasn't the daughters against the parents or the brother against the dad. His whole story just got wiped clean the fuck out in the movie. Which is ironic
like
because
you're
in the
saying
book,
that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
because in
like,
the movie, it's like it's everyone
He's
else
12.
against the youngest daughter, and
yeah,
as if she's doing anything wrong by wanting
Yeah.
autonomy over her body. Like,
yeah, like what the fuck.
That is interesting.
that's interesting.
Maybe
Yeah, I never thought about that.
And maybe that goes to show that it's harder to do in a visual medium. It's harder inherently to tell stories without a more clear villain, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or at least one character it feels like has to supply the role of antagonist because it's a visual medium. You cannot write you can't be as descriptive in your I don't know, in your setting up of this world. Like, one of my favorite examples of a book without a villain is, well, I mean, he does it a lot, and a lot of his work is Hemingway. there's the book The Sun Also Rises is about people that it's about the lost generation, soldiers that came home from World War I and realized the world had moved on without them. Like basically, they don't have an enemy anymore, and that's the problem. The entire book. It's 250 pages of this guy just kind of drifting through his life because he can't marry the girl he wants. He's like he doesn't have a purpose, and that in itself, I think some directors can pull that off, but I think that that's a more of a challenge to film and to make compelling in that kind of medium than it is to write. Because in the writing, you're in the character's head. You can more closely empathize with them, I think.
Yeah, and short of having a narrator over film, which is a sin, short of having a narrator, you have to rely on the actors to put on their face what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Or you get those clunky exposition scenes. And let me tell you something, if I see one more movie or TV show where they introduce that two people are siblings by someone going, "Sup, sis? Hey, no, bro, I'm going to punch Spielberg in the dick."
You beat me to it. You don't. What do you mean? Wander into your kitchen is like, "Hello, sister." It's like, yeah. Anything you look face.
I have a half sister and two half brothers. Not once have I ever walked up to any of these three individuals and say, "What up, brosif?" Like, "Hello, brother mine." No. "Hey, Troy. Hey, Stevie. Hey, Star." You know, you talk to them like people, and then you give them a noogie.
Hey, bro, you know our father, the royal governor of British India, is. It's like, oh, that's who he is. We both know that. Why are we talking about it?
Yeah, I hate that. Oh my god.
I think the real villain of everything is clunky exposition.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Info dumping has gotten a lot worse in film and in books too, but it's easier to hide in. Sometimes that's the problem too. Sometimes you get to an area, you just have to kind of exposit, but you don't want to info dump. So it's like, damn, how do I convey this in an interesting way? Is it done through a conversation? Should I do? I mean, when all else fails, blow something up, but
kill someone.
Sitting in the front row of the theater, things are going. I was like, so they are siblings.
I couldn't figure out how to explain the house, so I just blew it up. And that's how the story ended, because everyone died.
Were the siblings? Doesn't matter. They're fucking dead.
Was the main character going to overcome his drug addiction? I don't know. There was a gas leak.
He went to free and he freed up the whole parking lot.
I've always thought it would be hilarious to like tie in storylines from completely disparate novels. Like, call the author, get permission, but like, so like, you know, in the climax of your story is ruined because the wizarding world is at war in Harry Potter, and it's like, well, I don't know. Like, my office building got blown up by Death Eaters. Wait, I thought this was a realistic fiction kind of.
That would be so fun.
Camping on the side of this hill, but three Dementors just swooped down and ate the dog, so I guess we're not gonna anymore. And then Patrick are like, yeah, Sarah wrote this one.
This is kind of example I can give to what I want to do with that is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the film. This could be like a film podcast as well, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with the film Remember with Robert Pattinson.
Oh my god!
Wait, what is it?
It's called Remember
Me
with Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
That is what I do with the story. It makes absolutely no sense. The zoom out of the Twin Towers at the end of that movie is phenomenal storytelling. I'll have no one tell me otherwise.
He just wanted to eat like tuna fish salad sandwiches in his dad's office, but no, we went into World War III.
Like, just the fact that that's the end has nothing. That's brilliant. Honestly, no notes.
In my opinion, when that sort of thing happens, it makes the entire medium, not entire medium, but the entire piece of whatever it was, feel so pointless.
Yeah.
Like, I just watched all this guy's problems We know he has a dead brother. We know he doesn't get along with his father. Maybe something will get resolved. No. Point.
It's, and I get, okay, I don't
They
know.
could have called the
It
movie
is
Plain and Simple, and it would have made perfect sense.
it is so fascinating as a piece of media.
And it felt so cheap to me because,
Yeah.
right after the Twin Towers went down, I don't know how many movies came out. Hollywood trying to make a buck on that disaster where 2,000 people died.
Yeah.
Like, like all the whole world stopped for a day, and they're like, "There's money to be made here. Quick,
Mhm.
somebody put a fireman helmet on Nicolas Cage."
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was but just the sheer audacity of that plot twist
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
That was not a plot twist. That was a plot neck break. Whole movie dead as fuck. I kind of feel the same way. Okay, here's my Umbrella Academy weekly check off. The spoiler alert, by the way, for a show that's been done for a year. At the very end, they all die. They just fucking bite it. They're dead as fuck. And it's like, why did I just waste the last 6 years of my life watching them try to fix something and then just fucking die? Like, at the
Yeah.
end, they're all little fucking flowers. That's supposed to be satisfying? Nothing was resolved. The characters that I wanted to see have a happy ending are gone, and all the other characters who sucked get this big fucking picnic at the park. I don't like this. This isn't. Steve Blackman was like, you know what? I got you fuckers hooked. Here's an ending. Not a good one. Just one. See you later. Like,
I think
if
what
I
a
ever
lot
meet him.
I think what a lot of people can't appreciate is that this is my personal opinion, but I do stand by it. Bittersweet endings take more skill to write than happy
Absolutely.
endings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very much so, because you end up with something like you're talking about, Frankie, where it's just like I sort of see what you're going for, but you missed completely. And I think too many people are in love with ideas. Oh, it's a bitter sort of tragedy. It's like, no, either
Yeah.
go full tragedy, which I also appreciate. Like a good tragedy is great, um,
Mm-hmm.
or
Be
accept who
Hamlet.
you are and give the people what they want.
Yeah. Like, at this point, the whole season 4 it wasn't even fan service. It was just them saying, fuck it, we got you hooked. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
You'll watch it. We've got your money.
Yeah. We're the only reason you've had Netflix since 2019, so fuck off.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah. Yeah. And did you guys, not to get too far off topic, but have you guys, are either of you into the show 911?
So
Um,
I watched the opening of 911 Nashville just to see. I wanted to see what passed for. I wanted to see what they could pull out, and honestly, the first 20
Yeah.
minutes impressed me with the amount of plot twists that came in. Um, but then I did turn it off after minute 20. I just decided I couldn't more.
I watched it all the way through, and I remember when 911 Lone Star came out, and I started watching it because I was deep into 911. I loved the original show, but this whole going into space part is really fucking with me right now. Like, I understood the whole cruise ship plot. Okay, big thing, open the season, almost kill Athena and Bobby, finish the job later. I don't give a fuck. But now they're sending Hen and Athena to outer space, and it's very clearly meant to be not a mock or parody, but it's trying to be relevant with the whole Katy Perry in space thing.
oh my
Ah,
gosh.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, guys.
dude,
Why? Why?
someone's getting paid to write that, though. That's the thing. Someone's getting paid to write that.
And there are some people who are just like, this is the greatest thing that's ever going to happen in the history of ever. And then they pay them and they go home from their $50 voiceover job for the commercial. And, but like, I don't want to, I lost interest when Bobby died, honestly. I don't like what they're doing with the characters right now, but it's only episode 1. It could even out. It could be fine.
The
I'm gonna keep squeezing the bunny pig. It's fine.
It's interesting to me how CGI and that kind of stuff has improved, but as it's improved, television shows have just been like, let's keep showing bigger and bigger things that we can't do well. It's like, no, but you can do the small stuff good now. It's like, now let's do space. You do not have the budget for space.
No.
Someone's got to writers.
I miss practical effects. Actually send them to space. Let's see what happens.
It's now.
Yeah. Just show a clip of Katy Perry from behind. Be like, yeah, that's him. It's fine. We believe you.
Especially
the black lady paramedic can be played by a white lady with long black hair. It's
fine. All right. Well, we're at 1 hour and 7 minutes. Wow.
We have done it.
All right. And I think my voice is like gone.
Your voice is like, and I am done.
I'm actually somewhat impressed. I'm very impressed that you were able to hold on, Sarah.
Me too.
I did notice the little creep out of the room a couple times. Like, oh, she's going to die. For our audio listeners, we can see each other, and you cannot. At the beginning of this podcast, there's a teeny tiny little me, just for the YouTubers, just for the people on YouTube. But we do have 38 watches on last week's video. Hey, that is the most we've ever had. I only had to watch it 17 extra times. It's fine.
Over that edge.
Yeah. All right, guys. And our prompt, a final reminder, our prompt for next week, if you could indulge in anything without consequences, what would it be? Be prepared for my drug addict stories.
Oh, well, we can't all do meth.
Why not?
We all just come with meth pieces. That'd be great.
I believe that's called a crime. Oh, you mean stories? Okay. So yeah, be sure to check us out on Spotify. We have a TikTok with no videos, but they'll have some soon. And we're gonna have an Instagram, and we got big things coming up the pipe, right, guys?
Right. Yes. Righto.
All right. Well, I've been Frankie Valentine.
I've been Patrick Caleri.
I've been Sarah Billy. Not even.
That was good.
Bye. Bye, everybody.